All of these scenes right here have been shot by using the Nanlite Pavotube 15C. And this shot in particular is actually being lit up only by the two lights that we're gonna discuss about today. So in today's quick recap, I wanted to show my experience with you of using these lights, why you as a filmmaker might wanna invest in a set like this, because the flexibility and the possibilities that you can up with something like this are actually pretty impressive. But without further ado, let's roll the intro and get to it. What is up, guys? This is your boy Jose of Media Visuals, and in today's video I want to talk to you a little bit about the Pavotube 15C, the Nanlite tube lights that are actually been part of the filmmaking community for quite a while now. But I recently got them because I noticed all these crazy things that you can do with these lights, and I was like, man, I really gotta get a pair of those. I actually own them now for about 6 months, and this is not really a review. This is more like an experience-based talk about the lights after 6 months type thing. And I wanted to show kind of like all the different ways that I personally use them and all different situations and scenarios that you can actually fit them in, and hopefully help you out making a decision if you want to buy something like this. So first of all, I wanted to say, why the 15Cs and not the 30Cs? That's like the bigger ones, the bigger brother of these guys. And I personally was really battling between buying a pair of the bigger ones or this ones. But you know, if you really think about it, the 15Cs are usually a little bit more versatile just because you can use them in really tight spots, which we're gonna discuss a little bit more during this video. But that was the main key factor in my opinion. The 30Cs are still a pretty long setup that you have to think twice about where you're going to fit them in. These things right here, you can kind of throw them in anywhere. Anyways, we're gonna talk about now where I have actually used these lights. I'll give you a few examples as well so you can see what's going on. And let's talk about the first one, and this is YouTube setup. So something like this, talking heads, these are very popular type videos. You may be an aspiring videographer, or you want to get into the YouTube space for whatever reason. You can do videos about anything nowadays. So, you know, if you wanted to have a nice setup where you go and look pretty good in terms of lighting, in terms of being professional on camera and stuff like that, you might be surprised that actually you can get that done with just these two lights. I will actually put a sample right here so you can see what your video will look like using this light. I'm basically using one of the tube lights as a key light, and I'm using the other tube light as a kind of like behind the scenes, like backlight, just providing a little bit of that background separation and all that good stuff. You can obviously use that setup in slightly different ways. You could probably use the other tube light as a ring light, stuff like that. But I don't know, I think that it looks cool to kind of have that setup right there. That's your typical YouTube setup that you will see most of the time. And I think that that's what most people might want to gravitate towards.
Now, I did notice, guys, that when I was using that setup, I was actually spilling quite a bit of light into the table, as you can see right here. What I would recommend to avoid this issue is to use a grid on the light itself. There's actually grids for tube lights as well, and I think that would resolve the problem. I just didn't have one in hand at the time of shoot, but that should help you out in directing the light a little better.
Setup number 2, and that's the lazy way. That's what I'm doing here right now. Just throw the lights behind you and, you know, hope for the best, basically. So it actually looks cool. You know, a lot of people do this. It's a very popular setup, and like I said, it's actually pretty easy to pull off. You don't have to have necessarily a lot of knowledge in terms of lighting. Just throw the lights behind you and they are gonna look cool in the back. You know, you might want to know exactly what kind of coloring you might want to mix in there and things like this. But like I said, you know, you'll see these on tons of music videos. I personally use it in some music videos just because you might want to add a little bit of that pop in the back, you know, add extra colors into the mix, and it looks cool. It looks cool. I like that setup. I still use it quite frequently, but don't use it as a crutch. Don't use it as a, okay, this is the only thing I can do with these lights, because like I'm gonna keep showing you on this video, there's a ton more things that you can do with it. Setup number 3, car lights. So this is where the 15C makes a huge difference versus the 30C. So actually, it's really cool that you can throw these cars in most vehicles. Me being in Miami, I actually shoot a lot of music videos for people, you know, driving Lamborghinis, driving really tight, small cars like this. So fitting a 30C might be actually impossible. I haven't tried it myself, but it probably is impossible to kind of conceal it in there and make it not look like the light is there, but you know, kind of like light it up from the bottom or even light it from the top. I've used both, and honestly, it works pretty great for those situations. Battery life is actually great on these lights. It's pretty cool for those outdoor scenarios where you actually can't connect things into the wall and stuff like that. You can just throw them in there and it works great. Third scenario, and this is a really good one, I really like this one, bathroom scene. So everybody knows bathrooms are really tight. Usually go in there and take care of your physical primordial needs. So you don't need a lot of space in there. COB lights require a lot of space. Like for example, what I have right here, it's humongous. I'll try to put some behind the scenes. It's huge. You cannot fit something like this inside a bathroom. Probably you can, but you have to have, you know, top fixtures and things like that, something that you might not want to deal with. Anyways, these lights are great for bathroom shots. I haven't done a whole lot of them, but I'll try to recreate something for you guys here. But they are great for that. I'm actually still waiting for that opportunity where I can actually really put this to test, have a slightly better setup where I have a little bit more control of the light. But these are great to kind of light up your subject and do a few different things with it, you know. Just put it on top. These lights actually come with some attachments. You can actually hang it in there as well. You could use tape, like gaffer's tape and stuff like that. Just make sure actually it's safe. You know, you could actually light a nice bathroom setup using these lights right here. Okay, last setup that I have personally used these lights in is in booming the light. You might not be as niche as shooting in the bathroom or doing a lot of car stuff necessarily, but booming the light is actually something that a lot of videographers have to do, especially if you're shooting stuff, well, at night. So if you don't know what that is, I'll put a clip of a shoot that I did. This is a cell phone clip, so it's not as good quality, but this is what that means. You're basically following the subject with light behind you to kind of light up that subject properly, get a little bit more light in them because the scenario is too dark, or you know, that's the look that you're going for, whatever the case may be. Now that's a pretty basic setup right there. There's not a whole lot of motivating lighting going on in there, but it's cool if you just kind of want to show the subject, show what the subject is doing in that particular moment. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be way too motivated in this case, but it definitely helps. You know, if I were to be shooting the subject in just regular lighting scenarios, I mean, this would be almost, you couldn't even see anything. Even if I cranked the ISO, which actually I'm pretty sure I was around 3200, which is the maximum that my A7 IV actually allows without, you know, breaking the, I mean, you could go higher obviously, but I would have to use a lot of processing to get that image clear. If you're a filmmaker, at some point you're gonna have to shoot people at night, which is, you know, a little bit more difficult than just, you know, doing stuff in the day or behind a shade and things like that. You know, you gotta really think, okay, well, we're gonna need to bring some artificial lighting. So anyways, guys, that's all the ways that I can think of, which is plenty, I think. So you can get out there and get creative. Let me know where you have used this lighting setups in the past, or where do you think it's another example that you could think of that you could use these lights in. I mean, there's so many things you could do with them. Like I said, they are super versatile. So I'm sure there's other niche stuff you can do with it, or other, you know, just ideas out there. This 15Cs right here are going out on sale. So if you can still cop some, I would honestly recommend that, because there's a crazy sale out there. It was on B&H when I bought these. This cost me, the setup right here, costed me about 200 something, like $280, $300, something in that range. And I thought it was an amazing deal. I appreciate you guys watching the video. I hope you got something out of this video. And if you're looking to get more content similar to this, I would appreciate if you can subscribe, hit me with a like, share with somebody that, you know, might want to see this. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.